Hey everyone, my name is Matt.
And I'm Lindsay.
And welcome to our home. We bought this place a year ago.
Yep.
And we've been planning a sort of pretty big renovation for that entire time.
Since the day we moved in.
Yeah, so this video is going to be the introduction to the renovation series because it's going to be kind of a big one.
Doing a lot of different stuff in here.
Yeah, so in this video we're going to cover the following topics. We're going to give you
Here's your outline.
A quick tour of the current house, tell you the things we like and don't like and what our sort of issues are with how it is right now. Bring you up to where we're at over the last year, working with the design and the architect and our contractor Donovan, and kind of laying out the plan going forward to get all this in place. And we'll cover a bit on the budget as well towards the end. So, you ready to show your house off?
Yeah, let's go inside.
Okay. All right, so as we walk up, a little bit of background or context to the home. The previous owners did a large renovation and addition which completed in 2010. So everything from where Lindsay is standing right there all the way over this way, this is all new. So this was a large great room and entryway addition that they had added previously. So let's go inside.
Hey, Geek! Hey, Geek, we're home! I missed you. So this is our entranceway. This is part of the renovation that they did. And essentially you can go one of two ways. Well, actually four ways. Kind of wild. Great room, kitchen, back deck, basement. So which way do you want to go first?
Let's hop over to the great room first.
All right, so this is our great room. And this is the place that kind of sold us on this property. Really nice vaulted ceilings, and then you have a really great view of our property, kind of wherever you sit, which is pretty amazing. And then what's kind of odd to me, never seen this before, if you look right up there, that's actually a window to our bedroom. And if we keep going on then, go through here, this is the entranceway to the original house. This is the kitchen. And as you'll see, it is the original kitchen. While they did renovate back in 2020, or 2020, no, obviously not 2008, 2010, they did not touch this kitchen.
They did the floor.
They did the floor, yes, yeah. And then if you turn yourself around, you're in our dining room, which has a nice walk out to the bigger piece of the patio, or front porch.
Or deck.
Or deck. Whatever
Outside
vernacular
space.
you want to use.
It's out there somewhere.
Wooden plank outside, fresh air.
Uh-huh.
This brings you to the original first living room, which actually is still a pretty decent size, also has really nice views. I personally love working out in this room because I can look out the window and spy on the deer. Over there's an apple tree. This is a little funky.
We have a little vestibule
It is a vestibule, so
thing.
there's a second mudroom essentially. Like, there's a mudroom in the addition. This actually, it goes out
To another deck.
to another deck.
And a grapple.
Yes, who doesn't want one of those? But this actually is a really nice view because that's an apple tree. You can watch deer come out, and it's got a really nice panoramic of a good chunk of the property. Let's do what we call the study room, but it is a spare bedroom. You'll notice in this house is it's kind of dark. There's not a lot of lights. So they were using this as an office. We're using it as a spare bedroom / study room where the kids do their homework. And then bathroom. If you like blue, this is the bathroom for you. We got a blue tub and a blue toilet, which I think is unusual.
You think?
I do think that. I don't think a lot of people have that. Now do we want to go downstairs or upstairs?
Let's go upstairs quick and then we'll come back and do the basement loop.
Ah, yes, that makes sense. All right. First, my children made this for my husband for Father's Day. It's beautiful. I love it. Up the stairs we go. Let's choose your own adventure.
So
Cameraman?
This is a 2 upstairs bedroom house.
Two what are they called? 2 master bedrooms, which I think the reason is because this was the original master bedroom, and then when they renovated, they created a new master bedroom, and they just kept this one as is. Makes sense. Right now we're using this as the kids' room. All 3 kids sleep in here. The 2 boys are here, and Eloise is here. The thing I love about this room, and I almost didn't want to give it to my children wanted us to use it, is right here, there's a walkout. Which I love. Of course, right now we're not using it with any furniture because our children are too small. But someday sitting out here drinking coffee feels real nice. Otherwise, because this is a nice master, there is a bathroom in here with its own shower. The kids use. I love the floor. Can I show the floor?
There's the floor.
It's a nice floor. I like it. A lot of mirrors. So if you want to see what you look like at every angle, they got you. What's cool here though is that like there's built-in, so there's built-in drawers, 2 different closets. It's honestly kind of perfect for having 3 kids stay in here because there's a lot of storage for their clothes. This is just a linen closet. And then this brings you to the next master, the one that they renovated. So right here is all the addition. So this used to just be a bedroom that they now conformed into.
They put a bathroom in it.
Yeah, put a bathroom. This is the original closet that they kept. So right now when you walk through, you're going to walk through our closet and then into our bathroom, which I personally really like. Because it's got a pretty cool shower. If you want to feel like you're always on display when you're showering, you should shower here.
Shower display.
Yeah, so that's why when your husband's brushing his teeth, you can watch you shower.
Very important.
Yeah.
Secrets to good marriage.
And so then here's our bedroom, the master. This window does scare me quite a bit because we have small children. But what I love about this is it kind of feels like you are in a treehouse because you see the sunset and the sunrise every day. And honestly, I feel like this piece just looks really good here.
I'm sorry, I'm showing the sunset.
Okay.
Okay, now what?
And then the sunrise. But look at this. I just feel like it fits perfectly here. I really like it. Gotta still find a chair. But I just love how the light wood with the walnut. I just think it's real nice. Good job, Matt.
Mm.
It's like you knew, even though you built it before we found this house. Sure.
And then here's the great room.
So
it's
kind of fun to spy, but since we have children that are very little, I have this closed. No one's allowed to hold a child if these are open. A lot of rules. All right. Now down to the basement. So this is what we're using for our like quasi rec room right now. And then back here is another bathroom with a shower. That it's just nice to have that. A lot of different shower options here.
3 shower options.
3 showers and a tub. This we're using as our offices right now. That's my desk. This is Matt's. You can tell that this used to be a kitchen. So that's all the kitchen cabinets at one point. And so it kind of works out well to toss a desk there instead. And then this right now is our laundry room.
And mechanical room 1.
Oh yeah, mechanical room 1. Again, this is now, we're walking into the renovation from last time.
Mechanical room 2.
In which they created a second mechanical room right here. Also, a lot of fridges and freezers down here. And then take you to the spot most people like.
This is where you've seen the most before, I guess.
The shop.
That's the shop.
This is 3 different stalls. And then we can take you right back upstairs. So there's 2 ways to get into this basement. And so this way will take you back to the foyer when you first came in, where they created like a mudroom. So we have 2 different closets, and it kind of separates between going to the back or the front. And that's it.
So that is a quick tour of the house. And so first off, a little bit about things that we like, things that we don't like, that don't suit our family of 5. So I think I'm gonna start with the first one because
it's easy.
The easy one. So I think for both of us, something we really like about this house is the views. So the house is up on a hill. We have like any window you look out, it's gonna be like a nice view. So that's something we like.
Okay.
What's something you like?
Well, now you stole mine. We also really like the great room. It's a really big space, and it's kind of nice because you can hang out in different areas. without feeling that you're crowding each other, and have conversations, but at the same time feel like you're still together.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
I think that kind of leads us to things we don't like.
Yeah.
And that is that the great room is kind of its own house.
Right. It's so far away from the kitchen, from the dining room, because there is this big foyer in between.
Yeah. So it definitely, there's a lot of division there. So if anyone's like doing anything in the kitchen, you're not part of what's going on over there at all. So at least for us, having like a whole separate room isn't really the best fit for the way that we live as a family.
Well, having a separate room that's so far away, that's not connected to any other room that you would hang out in.
Yes, it's separate from the flow of the rest of the house,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah.
But it's like as big as all the floor space on this main level everywhere else too.
Yeah.
'Cause it's so big. So it's kind of, it's not the right fit for us.
Where it's located, no. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not.
So bring some more unity into the great room would be kind of nice. The other big thing that we have an issue with is the number of bedrooms in the house. So
Kind of an obvious one.
We as we were looking for houses, we really wanted all the bedrooms to be upstairs. So although we do have a bedroom here on the main level, we don't really consider it a bedroom. So this is basically a 2-bedroom house with 3 kids. And so we really need to find a way to get more bedroom space into the house. And then I guess sort of lastly is we kind of want a newer kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, I really like to cook. I really enjoy making stuff in the kitchen and doing it with people. And having a kitchen space that is more user-friendly for 2 people to cook together would be great.
Yeah, that's a big challenge for us. So at our last house, we had a small galley type kitchen. So 1 person, it's a little bit rough in there. 2 people is impossible, especially with the way they had like the doors and everything laid out. So if the dishwasher was open, you couldn't open the fridge. The stove was in the way too if you wanted that open. So you couldn't have multiple things open at once and still have people walking through there.
Yeah.
That's sort of the same issue here with this kitchen too, is it's a peninsula. So there is just like 1 choke point. And the fridge is right there at the end of that choke point. So if you open the fridge,
You're not getting out.
you no longer can get in and out of the space. So it's we want a little more functional space and functional flow for more than 1 person to be
In there.
kitchening it up.
And also, like, it would be nice, I spend time cooking, and now when people come to visit, they find themselves just kind of standing to talk to me, but there's nowhere to sit because we don't have an island. And the way that our current kitchen is set up, you could put a chair up, but it's right by the stove.
Yeah.
So certainly for kids, it's not safe.
Right. So that's kind of the things we didn't really care for here. There's other like wishes that we have that we'll get into as we talk about the plans, but that's sort of the starting point of like
The must-haves.
the deficiencies of the home. So because we already had an idea of the things we were kind of missing in the space when we went to buy this house, we reached out to my friend Donovan, who I met 5 years ago because a tree died in his backyard. He's been in a few of my videos already. He does home renovation and remodeling. He's been doing that for a long time. I like to joke with him about that because it's been, I think, longer than I've been alive. He's been doing that. So we reached out to him and kind of get an idea of like what is feasible of what we can do as far as the space goes, and then to also recommend a architecture and design firm that would be a good fit for this, because he's done this for a long time. He's worked with a lot of different plans and architects and things. So he recommended David Hyde and his studio. So that's the kind of direction we went with that. They had a pretty good kind of lead time of like when they could get started on our project. Mm-hmm. So that kind of led into why we didn't end up, staying at our own house and renovating, because time frame wise, it was gonna be a while till we get started. So we moved here, and which was actually a good thing because we got to further learn things we didn't like about the house.
Or liked. I had no idea that like our bedroom had sunset and sunrise.
Yeah.
I could have told them, blow out those windows and redo this if we hadn't lived here.
Right.
Certainly.
So over the last year, we've been working with them and Donovan. So it's been kind of a fun little like trifecta of power to figure out a plan we like. So we're going to run through the first sort of concepts that we kind of went with, and then we'll kind of dive more in depth into the final concept that we actually chose. Yeah.
So for context, here is what our current floor plan is. This is a basement. This is our first floor.
And we're here.
Yeah, we're right here right now. And then this is our current upstairs.
And this is what that looks like outside. So this is the exterior view of the house. This is our current exterior. So the one thing I've noticed with the current house is that the first half, like kind of where we are right now, there is no second story above this section of the house. So one of the things they were suggesting is, well, just finish up the second story and that'll give you your bedrooms. So a lot of these concepts we're going to show you kind of start with that. Like, well, let's just bring the whole second story wall all the way to the exterior wall and kind of go from there. So if you take a look at our current view of the house, you can see there's no second story here. If we spin it around this way, you can see how it's a little more obvious. So the kids' room is right here, and this wall kind of ends right there. So we're missing this whole section here of second story.
Which I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Shows how much I pay attention. But they had said that's kind of a really easy or cheaper way to create more rooms upstairs, because we thought we were going to actually have to physically build on.
Because we're not adding a foundation at that point. We're just bringing a wall line out, which still is a huge amount of work, but it's slightly less than putting a foundation in. So let's take a look at our first kind of option. This is like the, what do you want to call it?
This was the one.
Simple budget option.
Yeah, they said like
lowest cost.
Lowest cost has kind of just the big picture items that we wanted. So right here is the second level, and like Matt was just talking about this, they just bumped out. They took the bathroom that currently exists and just changed the door so that all 3 bedrooms could share that bathroom.
Right, so it goes from a suite to a shared bath for the second floor there. Okay.
And then for the first level, the big thing here is that they took the foyer and now it's our kitchen. And they pushed out the kitchen wall. So now it's going to come out quite a bit here. And then they kept the stairs that go down into the basement, and instead of putting a breakfast nook, that's kind of one of the reasons they said this is a little bit of a cheaper plan. Not going to touch that. So really the space outside of creating here is going to stay largely the same.
Right.
Just reconfiguring what we're going to use it for. And then for the basement, because you have that bump out in the kitchen, they're adding it right here and creating kind of a mudroom space.
Right, so that would be the foundation underneath that bump out, which could be useful for basically a mudroom kind of thing.
But otherwise, kind of left it alone.
So this is how that one would look. We got a kind of bump out area here in the front for that extra kitchen space. All right, option 2 is middle of the road? Is that what that one was?
Yeah, this is a middle of a road, and there's actually like it's two and a half, because for the
2.5 middles.
2.5 middles. So the big difference on this one is they only have 2 bedrooms up here, so the boys would share, and then it creates this Jack and Jill bathroom, and Eloise would get to keep hers.
Right, so it's still kind of adding this floor space upstairs, but configuring it a little bit differently.
Right, so instead of 3 bedrooms, all sharing a bath, Eloise would get her own bathroom, and the boys would have a shared bathroom.
Right, and we got a closet.
And yeah, we would have a new closet here. Well, actually, they're taking our closet we currently use and giving it to them a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But we're going to walk in.
Right. First level, the kitchen is still going to go in the foyer, but the big difference is they're not going to bump out that kitchen as much, but because they're going to take the space that the stairs were at and cover it.
Right, so the staircase is gone, gives you more space in that kitchen.
Now, they did, like I said, it's like a 2.5, because another thought they said is, here's what we can do instead. We can add a sunroom right behind it. Then for the basement, you can't really see much. The kids thought this was their bedroom, so they were picking who gets to stay where. Ellie gets the shop.
We talked about possibly reconfiguring the utility room 2 and making it a little more useful, and utility 1 as well. So these are both the utility rooms. We're looking at here is moving the laundry in here and making this current laundry and utility room like an office space, and having mechanicals and laundry over here. So that one will look something like this. We have that bump out area here for that kitchen space, and the second story is on there. And then spinning around to the back, you can see we have a little sunroom thing off the back there.
And then the final option, which is they're like, this is going to be the most expensive, and has the most work involved in it. For the second level, the biggest thing you'll see is that there are still now 3 bedrooms instead of just the 2 shared, but there's more than 1 bathroom. So it kind of combines the first level of 3 different bedrooms, but instead the boys will still share a bathroom, but they'll get their own, and then Eloise will still get her own.
Yeah, and this reconfigures our room as well.
So that put our closet now kind of where our bedroom currently is, and it cuts our bathroom. So presumably I think our bedroom would still stay the same. It's just removing everything.
Yeah, that's a big reconfiguration, the second level.
Yes. And then for the first level, here, kitchen still is going to go in the foyer. That's the kind of common theme throughout this whole thing. But they kind of remove where they're putting a lot of the stuff, and they create a tiny little pantry. Because I had told them a pantry is really important to me if possible. And none of the other plans had one in.
This one also plays with the like a 2-story entryway. So instead of the entryway being right here, this is going to go down to like a giant vestibule kind of thing.
That's a sunroom then.
Right. And
You'd walk into.
The front door would be down here, essentially on the main level off the garage.
So yeah, you kind of walk into a mudroom, and then you'd walk upstairs to a sunroom that then would take you into the kitchen. So in the last plan, you saw they put a sunroom back here. It's kind of flopping that around.
Right. So here is how that one would kind of look. You can see the kind of entryway is going to be down here, or you can go this way, and this is your sort of your vestibule giant thing with the staircase up into the kitchen.
Like that's the sunroom.
So it was kind of a hard decision to go through all those and pick out what we actually liked. There's a lot of like back and forth with this. So some of the things we liked the bump out for the front of the kitchen to give us some more space there. We liked turning the foyer into a kitchen a lot and having that extra space there and being connected to the great room. That was kind of a big plus. We kind of went back and forth on how many bedrooms upstairs.
I think that was probably the more harder decision for us, because with 3 kids, the idea of each of them having their own separate room seems really nice, but also the 2 boys sharing and getting their own bathroom, so Eloise doesn't have to share with them. Plus there, but ultimately we decided that it probably was more important for the boys to have their separate rooms.
So we went with 3 bedrooms upstairs and essentially leaving our bedroom alone for the most part.
For all the parts.
We're thinking maybe put a bathtub in. That's
Right.
the only difference. But otherwise, the second floor would be the 3 bedroom or 2 extra bedroom addition.
Yeah, so we actually kind of went with the A, which is putting 2 more bedrooms up and then reconfiguring the door of the current bathroom so that the 3 bedrooms will share that bathroom.
Right, and then on the main level, we're kind of toying with the idea of what to do with this deck out front.
Yeah.
Because originally, Lindsay was into porches, and now that she's been here living, she's into decks.
No, I'm not into decks. Let's get the record straight. I'm not into decks. I love porches. I feel like a house without a porch just feels sad. But our views, Matt made it very clear to me that if I had a porch, it would cut off so much of the views that I've fallen in love with. And so I was like, fine, I still want a wraparound porch, but now I want a wraparound deck.
So we're kind of playing with that as we'll do that. So that's an easy thing to kind of do.
We're doing it.
At some point down the road or whatever.
Yeah. So instead of a porch, though, it will be a deck, which I know maybe visually looks silly, but yeah, it'll be fun.
It's our house.
Yeah. I'll like it, and who cares?
And then this room will become the entryway now. So this will be where you walk into the house. The kitchen will become a dining room. So we're looking at doing that. And then new kitchen in the foyer with a sunroom on the back of the house as well.
Yeah.
And that sort of like sunroom, kitchen, great room is going to be like the central flow area, kind of like over there.
Yeah, so we kind of that's the plan from B, the second plan. We grabbed onto stuff with that, saying we really like that sunroom in the back, and can we add a little bit more from the C plan, which included that pantry?
Yep.
And we also kind of liked from the A plan a breakfast nook. So we kind of combined the kitchen for all 3 of them into making our own plan.
We combine a lot of things together, which also causes to escalate quickly. So we had our kind of final plan of, okay, this is like the master plan we want to do. We're like, okay, Donovan, give me a number. And then it was like, yeah, no.
He goes, do you want to buy your house again? I was like, I really don't.
So as much as we wanted to do this all in one sort of sweep, we talked to Donovan about sequencing and sort of phasing this approach, because the kind of like the time frame that he was talking about to do everything would have been like 12 to 18 months anyway.
Yeah.
So like, well, can we like break off some of this thing and do a little now and then do a little more or a lot more in the future?
Without like having to feel like you're living in construction zone for like 3 years.
Right.
Like we want to be like, can we get far enough to complete a phase if we don't have the time, ability, or money to do phase 2?
Right. So we're doing phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is going to be essentially the main area, the new kitchen sunroom kind of space, and then phase 2 would essentially be the upstairs. So removing the current roof structure, framing out to the front of the house, and then putting a new roof on, tying it all back in together, and all of that. So let's talk about sort of the floor plan and plan for phase 1. The phase 1.
Here's a key that I feel like is important for someone like me who doesn't normally read plans.
Addition.
Addition is great. Okay, I feel like I wouldn't know that.
So phase 1 is essentially 2 additions. A large addition on the back and a small one here on the front. So we'll have a nice kitchen space, pantry, breakfast nook thing, and sunroom all together there through that one long kind of area here in the middle of the house, which will also tie us into the great room. So we'll have a shared kind of passageway there, and then our new dining room will be kind of chilling over there. We've also elected to add this little bump out thing here, which is where the sideboard
It's gonna live.
is going to live. It's going to be in here.
It's a bay window,
We
right?
made a whole place for it because we love it so much.
I do love it so much. It's one of my favorite things you've made.
So that is the first floor. Where's the basement? Which way is the basement? This
That
way.
way.
So from a basement perspective, we have 2 different sort of variations on these additions. On the back side here, we have a full basement foundation, and on the front here, we just have 2 supporting piers. So there's going to be no addition on the basement level on the front, but in the back here, it's going to give us a nice office space to have, a real office, which would be kind of nice.
Right, because right now we're sitting right here. This is where my desk is. Here's where Matt's desk is. And as you can see, size-wise, it's very different.
Yeah, and one thing on the basement here, so this was originally kind of spec'd out as a frost footing, but the way that the kind of elevations work out, to do a frost footing, you would still need a 6-foot tall wall there. So to go to a full basement is only digging down 2 feet more than that, and it gives you all this floor space as well. Plus, I don't really like crawl spaces, so full basement.
Yay.
Woo! With a big old egress window.
Mm-hmm.
And then, real quick for the second floor, above the addition we'll have a flat roof deck kind of thing. So we'll have a nice deck essentially off our bedroom, which I think is going to be pretty sweet. And then on the front here we just have a simple roof that ties it all in. So we're going to take a look at some elevations real quick. So there's what the new front of the house will look like after this first phase. We'll have a little bump out area there with the windows and the roof. And then the most major stuff is going to be happening on the back here. So there is the future sunroom. Basically, you said, I want windows, and you got 0 walls.
Yeah. That's what I asked for.
There's no drywalling on this wall. Mm-hmm. It's all windows.
That's the bump up for the dining room, too.
Yep. And then we'll have the bump out there, which kind of ties into the sunroom really nicely. Lastly, just to get a perspective view on this. So there is kind of the side view of that sunroom bumping out there. There's the dining room bump out, and then we have a nice little door with a small deck, some more windows, and there's our sweet hangout area.
Right, so the kids can sit there and we'll sit here.
Great.
It kind of, honestly, this reminds me, I just thought about it now. We went to Savannah for our honeymoon, and we got that huge, actually.
It's exactly like that.
That's where we sat to have breakfast every day. It was right off of our bedroom.
So let's talk about your favorite topic, money.
Why?
Budget.
I don't know if that makes me like a miser or, well, I don't know.
So the original quote back from Donovan to do the entire thing came in at almost $700,000, which is a little more than we can kind of do right now. So
or I think anyone wants to do.
That too. So this first phase is a little more manageable, and I think it's going to give us kind of an interesting or a little more information on like what the real cost is going to be, because the plan was or is that I will be assisting in this entire process. So whatever I can kind of do myself will offset the budget as far as labor goes.
Right. So like the first level, do you want to say what that was? What the new budget is for level 1?
Yeah,
Okay. You haven't yet.
I know that.
Okay.
We're still talking.
Okay.
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 So the kind of the initial budget for this first phase is going to be $200,000 for the building and stuff. We're also budgeting another $50,000 for design, which should cover like the whole thing, which will be good. That $200,000 is going to be kind of variable. We may end up a little bit high of that, maybe like 210, 215, somewhere around there.
I think it'd be crazy if someone didn't. I don't think there's ever been a construction where they're like, we went under budget.
Yeah. So things are definitely kind of evolving. We haven't picked finishes yet, too. So we're sort of there's like
Finishes for what?
the entire house.
What do you mean by finishes?
Flooring, tile,
I
paint.
think of like honestly just like knobs.
That's also a finish.
Yeah. Okay. I just thought you meant knobs, and I was like, it feels early to think about knobs.
Well, I mean, that's gonna be pretty soon here. So because winter is coming, we want to get the envelope of the additions installed, and then through the winter we'll be able to do all the interior stuff. So it's gonna be, well, I think a little bit of back and forth with the budget, because I think we're gonna end up low in some places and then high in some places, and it's gonna kind of end up being.
It all comes out in the wash, probably right where you think it's gonna be.
Yeah. So I plan to be doing this as much as possible. I'm actually looking forward to it because. Basically, I'm like doing an apprenticeship with Donovan.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's what it is. I'm going to be here as often as possible, doing whatever he needs me to do, and then hopefully doing a lot of the work. So we already have me slated to do the whole kitchen, to build it. We're looking at doing all of the trim as well. So things like that I can just kind of take away and do.
Right, you're gonna build, like, we're gonna have a breakfast nook. You're building that.
Yep.
So that'll be nice.
So I'll be doing a lot of things. So that's going to be, that's why it's kind of like, the budget is kind of like, is a little fluid, but the ballpark we're trying to hit is 200. It's kind of where that's at. So anything else you want to add about budget?
I mean, I'm keeping a spreadsheet. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else people care about.
I don't know.
Honestly.
So, well, we're gonna definitely be kind of transparent about that, because I think that's kind of like the biggest thing for us too. We're like, I don't know how much any of this stuff costs because no one talks about it, so I don't.
I mean, from our standpoint, I think without having Matt do a lot of labor, this wouldn't have been a project we started right now. So
No.
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 But kind of also, I just feel like it's kind of cool for Matt too, because he said it's like his apprenticeship. He's never done any of this stuff before, and now he gets to cross a lot of stuff off his bucket list.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting too, because I'll be bringing everyone along with the process and kind of following our journey through this build, as someone who doesn't have a lot of experience with this, but has like tertiary experience with like things that are tangentially related to building and construction. So it'd be a fun learning journey.
My biggest thing is, as long as we can finish and we don't forever live in like a kitchen that we're like, so there's no floor, it's a dirt floor.
Yeah,
That's the only goal.
That's also the advantage of doing this phase approach, is that for this first phase, we don't have to move out.
No.
Which was kind of a big thing. It makes this a little more convenient than having to commute to a job site and find somewhere else to live for a year.
Right. I mean, that's also something you have to then budget is, okay, I need a replacement housing.
Yeah, we talked about that too. We're like, okay, well, we're good. Now, if we have to like move out, we need to have this extra pot of money for somewhere else to live.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the plan. That's this is the beginning. There's so many details that we haven't quite finalized yet and figured out, but that's going to be all part of this whole series, because we are starting this build with essentially just a framing plan and no interior finishes decided yet.
Okay, do people know? Okay, of course
we'll be bringing you along with the whole thought and decision-making process on like picking out colors and
windows and flooring,
trim and all of there's
paint colors, because he's painting those cabinets whether he likes it or not.
I like it. It makes it easier. There's a lot of decisions that have to be made. Like, I think that if I have to share anything I've learned so far, is that the number of decisions that you have to make is astronomically higher than what you expect.
Yeah, and if you're someone like me, it gives you a little bit of heartburn.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add, my love?
I think that's it.
Okay,
Just
good.
Cross your fingers and toes for us that it all goes smoothly.
Good. Do you want to send it home?
How am I sending it home? We don't know. Until next time, happy ripping up your house day.
So thank you as always for watching. We greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about the home remodel, home edition, or anything wherever in my life or your life,
Wherever in my life.
please feel free to leave us a comment. As always, we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking, destroying your house,
Home remodeling.
rebuilding it,
Kissing pancake.
and kissing your dog. Have a nice day, everybody.